You are tuned in to Kids
In the Pit.
Hey guys, it's Gabe from the Kids in the Pit podcast. Today I'm being joined by Alex LaChance from Yellow Stitches. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So, what instrument do you play?
I played bass in Yellow Stitches. I was originally a guitar player, but I didn't really play guitar. We originally started the band with, hey, let's play instruments we've never played before and see how it goes. Then we quickly started taking it more seriously, and eventually our original bass player left, and I moved over to bass, and we got somebody that could actually play guitar. I've also sang in bands in the past as well.
Um, so you played all but drums.
Yeah, I played drums. Actually, my first instrument was drums, but I was so bad. I just could not do it. I mean, I can still to this day, I can just play one beat. I can play 4/4 time. Um, I could never play the fast thrashy beat. So, my career as a hardcore drummer was over as soon as I realized that I couldn't do that. But I played drums in a couple of punk bands in high school, very, very poorly. I remember covering Rancid in our guitar player's lawn. But yeah, that was the extent of my drum playing. So I guess I have done everything technically.
That's cool. Yeah, I try to play drums, but I've only played guitar and bass in bands, well, and sung. But
The best thing about becoming a drummer, like if you can do it, is you will always have a band. There's always people looking for drummers. My friends that play drums have played in like 1,000 bands because there's just not
yeah,
enough drummers.
yeah, I played drums in. I mean, not really in any bands yet. Since like it's kind of hard to find members that are kids, but I bet when I'm an adult, I'll be drumming in like
Yeah.
20,000 bands.
For sure. If you can do it, yeah, you will have an open invite to everybody's band forever. Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's been a drummer in like five-ish bands. Been in a good amount.
Nice. What bands?
My Turn to Win, Accident Prone, The Dividing Line, Thought Control. Is that it?
I think so. So
Oh no, there's Let's Die, but that was like My Turn to Win, kind of. Yeah,
Gotcha. I've heard some of those.
yeah. So you were in the band Yellow Stitches when they started. Are they still a band and are you still a member?
Yeah, so I was an original member. Band's still a band. They don't play very often. I left in 2023. You know, for me, if you're not having fun there, you shouldn't be doing it. I mean, hardcore and punk music isn't to get rich. Fortunately, things have gotten better in the last 3 decades since I started coming around shows, and bands can actually make a little bit of money now. But above all, it's not going to be enough to change your life. So if you're not having fun doing it, don't do it. And that's just the point I had hit for the second time. It was the second time I quit Yellow Stitches, but they're still going. They're playing. There's a new record coming out any day now. I know last I was told they're just waiting for album art. And then they're playing the For the Children show in Boston in December. It's a 2-day benefit show, toy drive that has been going on the West Coast for a long time and has been happening in Boston for the last couple of years too. So um, that's a cool event, and they always get a ton of donations of toys and help out a lot of kids around Christmas time.
It's cool.
How about your Christmas show?
What?
You're doing a Christmas show to help with kids.
We are?
Yep. The one at the Bowery.
Oh, that's a.
Yeah, it's a coat drive.
I didn't even know that.
No,
Nice.
you're
Yeah, it's
not
so
gonna
good.
get.
It's so good to see because I mean, a lot of hardcore kids came from nothing and had I was pretty fortunate. I was raised pretty middle class, but a lot of people I came up in the scene with weren't as fortunate as me, and it's nice to see us all in the position to be able to help and give back now. Because it's like you just watched so many people struggle when I was growing up, and to have a chance to give back to communities that may or may not support us, but just give back to somebody, pay it forward. It's really nice to be able to do that now.
For sure, yeah. Yeah. So the show I was talking about, it's at the Bowery Electric in Manhattan, December 14th, and all the money goes to help kids with like winter coats.
That's awesome.
Can you donate them winter coats too?
Yeah, people can bring them and donate money.
Yeah. Very cool.
That's a great cause, yeah.
And
And
we play.
there was another one. Haywire just did a back
Yeah,
to school one in Boston that was there was so many school supplies collected they were struggling to give them all away over this last weekend. Um, yeah, but it is awesome just to see everybody. I know where all these people came from that are making these things happen, and to be in that position after some of the struggles that everybody's been through is really amazing to see.
yeah. Haywire is huge right now. We saw them in like I think it was like a classroom in like northern Delaware, which is like yeah, we're in Delaware, but it was like 30 minutes away. It was cool.
Haywire is one of the I it's something different, and I can't really put a finger on it to explain why, but it's just like, I've been going to shows since 1998, and I don't recall ever seeing anything like Haywire where it's just been you got a friend over there swarming around your head. Um, but I just don't recall ever seeing anything like Haywire that was just so like just everybody's into it. I mean, hardcore kids, metal kids, punk kids, skinheads, like people from all walks of life, people from outside of the scene just embracing it, and the energy at the shows is just it's unmatched. It's really incredible to see. It's been a lot of fun watching that happen. It's honestly, I mean, it's brought me back into hardcore more, seeing Haywire doing what they're doing right now. They're playing. There's a annual pig roast show up here in Manchester every year. They're playing that, and then they're playing Maine the next day, and there's a word for word reunion that Friday night. So I'm going for the first time in a long time. I'm going to go to 3 shows in 3 days, and I'm excited about it. And I would say Haywire is a big part of like my my excitement with hardcore right now.
Yes. I think they're playing like all 50 states. I think they played most of them.
Yeah, I know that. I think Hawaii's this month, and I think they had 2 shows booked in Alaska. Um, I meant to stop. We went to Hawaii, my family, um, last month, and I meant to swing by where the venue was and just take a quick picture, but I just never got around to it. But yeah, it's incredible, and it's like I never even thought of playing Alaska. When I was even like I was a kid just dreaming about "Hey, what could we do. Alaska was never my thought, like that I never thought there'd even be a scene there. And to go up there and play 2 shows, it's really cool. Like I remember years ago, Have Heart went to Africa, and it was like you just never thought I'd see a hardcore band like people that I knew playing in Africa. It was pretty cool.
I didn't
Um,
know that. That's nuts.
Yeah, I think they played at a school. There's video of it online. They played at a school, and I don't think anyone really knew who they were, but the kids there were just excited to have a band there.
Sick. Yeah. I know Stick to Your Guns played in like Kenya once, and then I think I know some bands played in South Africa. Like that's the main place to play in Africa.
Yeah,
Was it like South Africa that they played in, or was it?
I don't remember. Could have been. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Pat Flynn talked about it on. I think it was on Hard Lore. He told the story of playing that show. I remember when it was happening, but that was when they were still an active band. It wasn't like everything that happened was posted on the internet instantly back then. So it was like you got kind of limited information when stuff like that was happening.
It's like, yeah, he was on my podcast. I think it was one of our longest episodes because he's a history teacher. So,
Yeah, Pat's a
but
very smart guy, and I mean, not many people have done what him and Havhart have done. So I mean, there's just endless stuff to talk about for sure.
yeah. So where do you live and did you grow up there?
So I live in New Hampshire, just outside of Manchester, New Hampshire. I didn't grow up here, but it's home now. I've been here since I was 17. I followed my high school girlfriend out of Maine. So I grew up, I started going to shows in the Portland, Maine area. when I was in high school. And then when I graduated, I followed my girlfriend at the time, my high school sweetheart, as they say, to New Hampshire. And then she broke up with me like 6 months later. And I just stayed. I had already started a band called Break It Up, with Josh Hines, who later, ran Anchors Up, the venue in Massachusetts, and played in Drug Test with me. Played in Rude Awakening, Hammer Bros. He's got a new project coming out soon called Recollection. Um, but yeah, Josh, I had known Josh a little bit because he'd come to shows in Maine, I'd come to shows in New Hampshire, and then I was working at the mall when I moved to New Hampshire. I was working at Audubon Payne, in the mall, and he comes walking by. He was flyering for a show he booked in the mall. You kids doing that these days? Flyering in malls? That's really aging me. But yeah, and he saw me working. He was like, "What are you doing here?" And then he gave me this flyer for the show. I went, and at the show, he's like, "Hey, want to sing for my band?" And then I was like, "Okay, well, New Hampshire's my home now forever." And um, no regrets on that at all. It's a great place to live.
Nice. Yeah, we're playing. My band LaChance. We're playing a burger place in Manchester.
Yeah, I just ate there the other day.
Hopefully, you can make it out.
I'm gonna try to make it. I have not been to a show there yet. Like I said, I am having kind of a resurgence on like actually going to shows more often. And I was even slacking for a lot of years, even the shows like that are 20 minutes from my house. But I'm gonna try to make it out to that. I put it on my calendar. I don't have anything else going on, so it would keep take an emergency for me to not come down. But who are you playing with on that? Do you know?
I don't really know.
I don't think he's told us yet.
Yeah.
There's a local band here called TFR that has done a lot of shows there. Might possibly be them. They just played with Conservative Military Image the other day in Manchester, right down the street, like about a block down from that venue at the Shaskeen, which is where most of the if bands come through Manchester now, it's usually Shaskeen. But Bad Burger has popped up and started doing more. It's kind of neat. They've only been open like a year, and I went to the bathroom there, and there was a sticker on the wall for this band Watchfire that broke up like a decade ago. And I'm like, how did this sticker get here? This is like, did they take a time machine? I have no idea. But yeah, pretty cool spot. I'm sure you'll have
The
fun.
burger's good.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a fast casual, like a Five Guys style, but like its own one off, and they have some creative burgers. They have one with like a black bun. Um, it's a good spot. Yeah, good fries. There's like couches to sit on. They actually normally have dining, like the stage usually has tables and chairs on it for eating, but
Cool.
they move them off for the shows.
So this is our new cassette. We just got them in the mail today.
Nice.
Just want to show them on the podcast. So here's the purple little cassette. Two sides. It has both EPs on there. Side B is the first EP that we put out last year, and then side A is the new one, which is called Erasure.
What made you want to put out a cassette tape?
I think I think we saw some other bands with them, and we were like, "That's a pretty good idea." And they were cheap. They were $300, just kind of
For 100.
for 100 of them, which is
That's a pretty good deal.
yeah. And they came with the cases and the inserts. So
I don't think any band that I've ever had has had a professionally made tape. We used to make our own demos. Like we bring a boombox on the road and record demos like behind the merch table because it would take so long to dub a demo. Like we'd never have enough, so we just were making them all the time. But I never had a professionally done tape. A few bands a few years ago did 8-track tapes. I don't know if you ever even had experience with 8-track.
You don't know what that
Uh,
is? He
yeah,
doesn't know what that is.
yeah, I figured. They were basically they're tapes, but they were like much bigger. They were almost the size of like a VHS tape. Well, almost looked like an old Nintendo game. I don't know if you've seen the plastic Nintendo cartridges. Yeah.
Knows that.
So yeah, that's what they look like, that kind of. But like, I remember one of my friends, like the first car he ever had the player in it, and like, but it was all you could get was like 70s music on those because it was just a technology that was only around for a short period. Yeah, there it is.
I thought you meant
But
like
That's what
fucked up did one. They put out an 8-track, and I remember I was like, who? No one's gonna be able to listen to that,
yeah, nobody has that.
right? And then
But
my friend Johnny's
Walmart has
band
them
word.
for sale apparently.
That's funny. Word for word from New Hampshire put out an 8-track tape.
But you get it.
Oh,
Ours,
your track
ours
yours has 8 tracks on it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there
The
you go.
joke is his tape has 8 tracks on it.
Well, when you go into the studio and you have like a drum track, like a snare track, that's the tracks that they're referring to. There was
Yeah.
only 8 on those tapes. You could only have eight different tracks, so they were very limited on quality. I think when they actually put out the tapes like you have, that's when like the technology got much better and the recordings could sound much better.
Yeah.
Although I'm not an expert on that technology, but it sounded good when I said it.
So, what other bands have you been in?
So my first like real band that like played consistently after high school was Break It Up. Then when Break It Up broke up, we started Drug Test. Then I sang for a band called Ignorance. Roughly, I think we started in like '06, '07. And then while we were doing that, that's when Yellow Stitches started, and I haven't really pursued anything else since Yellow Stitches. That was kind of everything. Yellow Stitches had the opportunity, not that we took advantage of them, but the opportunity to do whatever we wanted. And for me, it was just I felt like, okay, this is good enough. I don't need to do any more bands. I did what I wanted to do with this band. I wish we had toured more, but just wasn't in the cards. I mean, the guys when we started partied a little too hard. So we couldn't really do consistent nights in a row on the road. And then, as we got older, just nobody wanted to go on the road, and the sleeping on floors, sleeping in the van just didn't appeal to anybody anymore. But um, yeah, Yellow Stitches is kind of everything to me. Those other bands just seem like blips, and kind of did Yellow Stitches for a long time.
Nice. So, Drug Test was a straight edge band, right?
Yep,
Yeah. Are you still straight edge?
I'm not. Around 30. Yeah, I went from I was, and haters will say if you're not now, you never were. But 17 to 32, I was straight edge. And honestly, thankfully I was, because I mean, I was around a lot of drugs. I was around a lot of people that were, put anything in their body at any time. And drinking culture was huge around Yellow Stitches, and I don't have great self-control, and that was kind of the original reason I became straight edge anyways. Um, and I stopped drinking last October. It's been almost a year since I've drank, because I just recognized that wasn't great for me. But I hit a point where this anxiety, depression, and so many I just felt terrible all the time and mentally, and I was just like, I gotta hide from this. And that was, it's probably the worst way to use alcohol. The worst way to do drugs is if you're, running away from something, but I just didn't know what else to do anymore. And since then I've found therapy. Found a lot of just more positive ways to try to make my brain better, and to kind of cope with whatever's going on upstairs, that are a lot more positive than drinking half a bottle of whiskey. Nobody should be doing that. I mean, alcohol is straight up poison. I don't care what anybody says. You're literally just poisoning yourself, in small amounts, in large amounts. It doesn't matter. You're poisoning yourself. So I'm glad I got away from that. But I mean, I'm also glad I had that experience, because you know stopping, never touching anything from 17 to 32. It's like I kind of I didn't know what any of that stuff was about, and that's a fine way to be. But I try not to regret anything. It's all what's made me who I am today and got me to where I am. But yeah, long short answer is not straight edge anymore. I believe the remaining the last who was in the band at the end, now that I'm thinking about it. Um Yeah, I believe everybody, the basically the core four of drug tests, everybody else is still straight edge, I believe. But it was one that I don't talk to. At least two of the four still are.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stay straight edge forever. So
Good.
yes, not maybe. Yes.
Everybody
I mean,
thinks
here's the thing: if you're not, if you were to say maybe, then you're just not straight edge, in my opinion. It's like it's either you are making that claim, you're intending to do it for life, and people change, and that's fine. But it's like if you're gonna say you're straight edge, that is supposed to be a lifelong commitment, and I thought I always would be too, and it shocked everybody when I decided that I wasn't going to be anymore. But I just hit a point in my life where it's like I don't know any other way to deal with my problems, and it's no place to be. And unfortunately, society's got much better at, you can talk about things like depression and anxiety and going to therapy, and it's not as stigmatized as it used to be. But I grew up and there was no talk about mental health, and it took me so long to learn any of those skills to take care of my own mental health for sure.
I think it's hard to know at 13. But his mom and dad are both still straight edge.
Yeah. So well, I'll
But,
be straight edge forever because
yeah.
But
I mean,
if I
it's just
say
hard
I'm
for you
not
to say.
gonna,
Yeah, for
well,
sure.
no. But if I say I'm not definitely gonna, that's if I say I'm definitely gonna, I'm gonna
Okay.
say it. If I say I'm not.
Yeah, it's there's no good comes out of drugs and alcohol. It really doesn't. You know,
Yeah.
there's no reason. I mean, I remember when I was straight, so many people like, not even at like, you're not even gonna drink at your wedding. I'm like, no, I don't do it anywhere. Like it's like, I never understood that mentality of like, oh, you have to. And like I said, Yellow Stitches was, big party band. Alcohol was around us all the time. And um, Brandon, a singer, I think it's been 6 years now, without alcohol. And it was hard for him. Like he was everyday drinker for sure. And then Adam, the guitar player, known as Fat Man, he's been off alcohol for quite a while now too. Um, those guys quit all the hard drugs, and it's like all they can say is how much better their lives are now. And they regret the years of, we go play a show and they just disappear. They wouldn't see any of the bands. They'd only see the other people that were getting into drugs and alcohol with them, and they say that they regret it because they don't have the memories. Like I was watching the other bands myself because I wasn't doing it back then, and they're just like, we don't have any good memories from those years because of that. So definitely stay straight edge and definitely encourage that for sure.
Yeah. All right. What's the next? Oh yeah. All right. You told me already, but your old band Ignorance had a record called World of Waste.
Yeah.
My band World of Chaos ever does a municipal waste cover set. We'll call ourselves that.
Okay. Yeah, that I like that. When I saw your name, it was like reminded me of that World of Waste immediately, and my first thought was like, that's a better way to kind of think of the world than what I was thinking of it. Because ignorance was in that period of depression that I was dealing with, and it's like some of the guys in the band have wanted to reunite and do it again. I'm like, guys, I was singing about wanting to kill myself. Like I don't really want to relive that. Um, but like the world of waste was like I just looked at the world as like there's no point of being here. Everything was for nothing. It was a very dark, imagery with everything in that band. And it's like, but I saw World of Chaos and I'm like, okay, the world is a mess, but I can still exist in it. Like I can still make the best of it. That was like how I kind of took it. Like, yeah, the world is a mess. It's chaotic. There's all these problems, but that doesn't mean that my life can't be great. That doesn't mean I can't have enjoyment. But at the time when I did Ignorance, that was all like that was my whole mentality was this world is terrible. There's no point of being here. Um, no way to live. It's no way to live. No way to think of life for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing Much better now.
Thanks.
So, I believe you have a podcast. What's it called? And how can people check it out?
So it's LaChance encounters. The La is in parentheses, which makes it very hard to search, I've been told. But I think it's getting better in the search engine. It's coming up a little easier. It's everywhere. Nobody's told me of a platform that it's not on yet. I distribute it through everything. Most people I know listen to Spotify, but it's Apple Music and um, Pocket Casts and Amazon, YouTube for the video version.
It was easy.
That is it right there.
Like a second.
And yeah, it's a mix of topics. I originally started it to kind of promote my real estate business, as you know, just a supplement because social media has been my main way that I've built my career in real estate. And but nobody wants to listen to me talk about the technicalities of buying and selling a house. Like it's just boring. Like nobody wants that content. So I'm like, I'm going to do something that's more interesting and have, I'll occasionally have a real estate agent on that I'll interview or somebody who does mortgages or insurance, but also sprinkle in. I had Dan from the Western Mass Hardcore band Revenge on the other day or the other month. The one I released today is another Dan, Dan Haggerty from the band Since the Flood. He owns a bunch of restaurants up here in Manchester. So it's cool. We could talk business and but still sprinkle in some from the music world. I've just been trying to have a variety of topics, and I've also got a couple like different concepts, like Keith from Restraining Order does a version of the podcast with me called Sick of Talk, where we just listen to a song and then talk about the song. Where the last one we just released was Blind Justice by Agnostic Front. So trying to do a whole variety of things with that podcast. So yeah, I'd appreciate anybody checking it out for sure.
Yeah, Keith is awesome. We played Pokemon Go together.
Of course you did.
You know, Best in Florida,
Gainesville.
Gainesville. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Keith rules. He's a lot of fun.
yeah.
Don't play Dance Dance Revolution with him. He will destroy you. He's the master of DDR.
You were really good at the
I wasn't that
You weren't?
good. Nope. It's
Oh.
fun, but I'm not. Nothing like them.
He's like doing spin moves on the thing. Like it doesn't even look like he's
Maybe.
playing a game. It just looks like he's dancing.
I didn't even.
He like
does?
wins like competitions and stuff, I think.
I didn't know that.
I played Pokemon Go a little bit when it first came out. Um, and then I just got bored of it pretty fast. I saw
Yeah,
you in
yeah.
another episode wearing a Magic shirt. You play Magic?
Yeah. I mean,
I
not as much because I don't have that many friends that like play it. I only have one. He lives like 40 minutes away. But my dad plays, and sometimes we'll go to like Friday Night Magic at a local store.
I got crazy obsessed with Magic for a while. Probably right after I had quit Yellow Stitches the first time. But I was like flying to tournaments. I flew to Detroit, Denver, uh, drove to Richmond, drove out to Montreal. Like I was playing, like New York it was normal to go to New York to play a show. I mean, to play a tournament. I was obsessed with Magic for a while. I saw that. I was like, yes, more kids playing Magic. But that's another great thing to be into, instead of whatever other kids are doing. Magic's a great one. Really learn a lot from that.
What are kids my age even doing? Just like doom scrolling?
Yeah, video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like what video games are popular right now?
Fortnite is still popular.
A little bit, I think.
Minecraft?
I don't really play that many video games. The only one I'm really play is like it's called Splatoon. It's like an old. It was started on the Wii U and now it's on the Nintendo Switch. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really play video games that much. It's probably good.
Your brother does.
Yeah.
Do you go to public school?
No.
No. So I was gonna say it's like I just remember and I started later than you. But I remember like going to hardcore shows and like going to school on Monday and you just had this like these kids have no idea like what I went through over this weekend. It's like it's not exactly the normal lifestyle of a teenager to go out and play shows and the things that go on at shows and whatnot. Like it looks crazy to most people.
Yeah. Two members of my band go to school and two are homeschooled. Like we opened for DRI this weekend and now they're in school today. So
Yeah, yeah. It's so it's such a weird feeling. Yeah. How was that show?
it was great. Like I mean,
Tell them the crazy
yeah.
freaking story.
So I got to play guitar with DRI because you know Spike Cassidy, their guitarist.
I never really knew any of those guys' names. I've seen them a few times, but
Yeah, their guitarist. He was in the hospital for I think something with like that had to do with kidney stones, something like that, some
been there.
surgery. So I got to play guitar for like 7 songs, and then one of the members, no, two other band members in different bands, played some songs, and then the day after, we went to Philly and played. I played like what probably seven songs again on guitar. It was awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And
Yeah, it's that's like a must have been a trip to play. Were you a big fan before?
yeah, it was DRI is like one of my main inspirations for World of Chaos. So
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
it's a dream to open for them. So
Yeah. Did they have the big the 7 songs is like what? Like 10% of their set? Like did they take out the big like scroll set list?
It's like 40 songs.
yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
how they don't fit on a scroll. Like
I remember seeing them and they just unrolled this scroll like
They don't do that
it
anymore,
was
but it's
no,
just
it's still
it was,
thick. Yeah,
I think
it's
that
still
was
thick.
they normally play an hour and a half, but they were gonna have to cancel until he like went in the parking lot and learned 7 songs.
that's
So
awesome.
I already knew some of them pretty well. I just had to get them down. Really.
so they played 45 minutes in Frederick. But then in Philly, they had more people learning. Oh, they had a day to learn, so they played over an hour.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. Like I've never like I have to try so hard to learn songs. Like the people that can just like pick it up and do it, it's so crazy. Well, I
I've
mean,
helped with
starting
it.
young is huge for that too, but like we drug first or really only real drug test tour we did with Outbreak and the Chris Linkovich from Terror and Cruel Hand
Oh yeah, yeah.
was in Outbreak, and we only had one guitar player, and like he didn't play the first night, but he learned all the songs in the van and played the rest of the tour with us. With never having a practice, and then Josh Long of Skinhead and Death Before Dishonor and Criminal Instinct and a million other bands over the years. Josh Long had learned with no practice. He played the first night with Outbreak on drums, and he did the whole tour with them. But it just always blew my mind, like that people could do that because like I need practice, or I'm not, and I still suck. Even with practice, I'm still gonna screw up.
Yeah, so the guitar player for Paralysis, who was on tour with DRI, stayed up like all night Saturday night and learned like 10 songs. I think he said ended up going to sleep at 9 a.m. and then they had to leave at 10 a.m.
I can't deal with the no sleep anymore. That's another reason that I don't go to as many shows because like not a lot comes to New Hampshire, so it's like it's a drive for me to go, and I just cannot operate on no sleep.
Yeah.
Um, I've
So
become a weakling in that way.
yeah, so me and him like both said we're gonna learn all the songs, but both of us didn't. So we both took a picture of the like set list, and we should have made a plan because we were both like, oh yeah, we're gonna learn all of them, even though neither of us could because like an hour and a half of songs. We kind of overestimated
Yeah.
our abilities. So we should have made a plan because both like learned the exact first 10 songs, and then we like I told him, okay, I learned these ones, could you do the rest? And he was like, well, I also only learned the first 10. So
And you had more time, so you had to learn the
yeah,
rest.
so I learned like I think 7 more, and then he did those first 10.
DRI was like 13 or 14 when they started, right? Weren't those guys super
They were
young?
older.
I think they were
They were, like,
little. I think they
19
were
or-
like yeah.
They were all there, right? Maybe did they have a band before that when they were younger? I feel
Maybe.
like
And their drummer was young.
Really?
Yeah, Kurt's little brother.
Hey,
But
Felix?
Kurt was like 20. I don't not Felix. It was before Felix.
Oh no, Felix is a new one.
He said his little brother was like a kid.
Wait, is Felix the new one?
No, Felix was the second one.
Oh, wait,
Danny's probably like the 10th one.
oh yeah. I
And they
think.
must be those
Oh yeah. I
and they
think.
must be those guys must be in like their late 60s now, right?
Yeah, 50s.
Nope, 64
Oh, okay. So
Mid, yeah.
and 63.
yeah, Spike, who I filled in for, is exactly, well, not exactly, but like by the year, 50 years older than me.
Yep. It's
It's
60.
always like people that are like they're a little bit younger than my parents, but like people in hardcore that are my parents' age, like is always weird to me because I'm like, I could not see my parents being like Vinny Stigma was born the exact same year as my mother, and like it makes no sense to me that they would be the same generation at all.
Wait, uh,
Vinny's about to be 70.
yeah, wait,
Yeah.
trying to do the math.
Yeah, no,
Wait, how old are
November
you?
because he put his birthday in one of the Stigma songs. That's the only reason I realized that he was the same age as my mom,
Oh, okay,
or maybe it's December.
all
My
right.
mom's November, but yeah, they're like my mom and him are like almost the exact
I
same
forgot what
age.
I was trying to calculate in my head. I was trying to like think of, wait, what year, blah, 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 blah. All right, but I forgot it, so forgot what I was thinking of. So, what was the first punk metal or hardcore show you went to, and how old were you?
So my first show was I was 15. It was a band called Honky Ball, which I really wouldn't call a hardcore band. They were on Wonder Drug Records. It was kind of hardcore adjacent. You know, a lot of people don't really realize because now it's just like a blip in time, but like hardcore had kind of disappeared in the late 90s, especially, in an area like Maine. So it's like you saw a lot of shows that were very mixed, and what got called hardcore wasn't always hardcore, really. But anyway, the headliner was Honky Ball. Some kids from my school were in a band and they covered Honky Ball. And I went to see Corn at the local arena and I got the flyer for the Honky Ball show and I brought it to school and I didn't drive. They were older kids. I was like, hey, you guys want to go to this? You want to bring me? Basically just fishing for a ride. But like, so we went to that and then, Low Life, which at the time was really Portland's only hardcore band, was one of the openers. I ended up being
Corn?
in a what's that?
Corn?
No, no, Low Life.
No,
No, no,
but
no.
were they the opener for Corn?
No, 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 no. I had gotten the fly. I had seen Corn at the arena, and I got the flyer for this
Oh,
other show outside of the Corn show. Sorry,
okay.
I wasn't that clear.
You-
Yeah, yeah. I was standing in line waiting to go into Corn. They handed me this flyer. I had heard of the band, knew the kids at school liked it. I was like, "Hey, you want to bring me to see this band?" Yeah, and then Low Life and Diecast played. Um, and Tree. I think was it Tree? Honky Ball. Oh no, no, it was Low Life, Diecast, and this band called Coal Pitch, which was like really a new metal band. But like I said, it was all always mixed bills. So that was, I would say, Low Life used to cover Sheer Terror. I don't know if they did at that show, but that was Low Life was probably my first exposure to a real hardcore band. That was in '98.
Did you hear about the recent incident at the Corn show?
I did, yeah. Um, yeah, kind of weird. A lot weird. Broad daylight too. Very strange.
Then you must really like corn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. The look on his face, something was wrong with him. Um,
Some sort of disorder, I guess.
yeah, yeah, definitely something going
Drugs.
on, or
Yeah, he
just
had it high.
or just drugs. Yeah,
Maybe a mix of the two. I don't know. But
it was funny how there's like a bunch of people just standing around looking, and then the guy comes out of into the frame and just walks up and just socks him. I was
yeah.
just like, yeah, I'm like, why were not more people on board? Like it seems
Got
like,
kicked out.
The guy who hit him got kicked out
Yeah,
too.
which is crazy.
yeah, I'm sure they don't allow vigilante justice at a state. It was a stadium show.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
crazy. So where's your favorite place you ever visited or played a show?
Those could be like two very different answers. And I always talk about this, like when you play shows, you never get to like see that place, like because you're just one show to the next. It's like I remember my sister, like she's lived in Maine her whole life, had never been to New York City. She really wanted to go. She wanted to take her daughter, and like I'm like, it's no big deal to me. Like let's just pick a date. I'll drive down. So we went, and we were like tourists, and like where all these places we're going. She's like, "You've never been here?" I'm like, "No, I've been in some alley in Brooklyn. Like I did never did the tourist thing." So it's like favorite places I've been versus favorite places I played shows tends to be very different. Um, I always think of playing Gilman Street, 'cause that was like a legendary club, like, what Green Day, got started there, Operation Ivy, like all these big bands, started there. It was kind of West Coast CBGBs. It was just so to go to this like mecca of punk rock from the East Coast and get to play there was really exciting. But really it boils down to home, Anchors Up for years was my spot. Um, that was home base for me. Every Yellow Stitches show we played there was great. That's where I did a lot of ignorant shows. So many great bands came through there over the years. It's like I have a poster. It's like Chain of Strength, Strife, and then Turnstile's the third band on the list. And like they're huge now. Um, Have Heart did shows there, Curl Mags did shows there. It was a great time. Agnostic Front, like we just had everybody, Terror, everybody that was big and playing shows at the time played there. And it was just constant though every weekend, and it was a good vibe of just all the local kids would come out to everything, even if it wasn't even a hardcore show. Like people would just come by and hang out if I was there working the door or whatever. So that was home. As far as places I've been, I for years I said Greece. My wife and I went to Greece. We went to a small island called Milos. We did some time in Athens. That was like till very recently. That was my favorite trip of all time. Now, we just did Hawaii. And that I was debating in my head if that was taking a new high spot, but I think I'm still on Belize. We went to Belize back in February. And it was like I said, it's like maybe it wasn't quite as cool as Greece, but I was with my daughter. And it was just so cool to see, like, to be able to do like real things with her now. She was 7 at the time. We did zip lining, and she can keep up on a hike, and she can go snorkeling. Like we get to see a sea turtle while we were snorkeling out by a reef. So that was probably my Belize is probably my favorite place I've ever traveled to.
Awesome. So if you could live as one animal for a day and be safe from dying, what kind of animal would you choose?
If I could live as one animal,
Yeah.
and that I mean probably something that flies. Um, Man, I I don't know why, but I feel like being able to fly would be probably some sort of big eagle. You ever see those eagles that pick up the mountain goats on the side of the mountains? I think it's in Africa. They're big enough that they can't really carry them, but they can grab them enough so that they throw these goats down the side of a mountain, and the goats die, and then they can go and eat the goats. I want to be that eagle, whatever that eagle is. That sounds like I don't want to kill goats. May come out the wrong way. I'm not really planning on killing goats, but just to be a big, strong flying thing, that'd be cool.
Wow, that's
I
crazy.
could probably get a lot of stuff done if
Yeah.
I was strong and could fly.
So, do you have a favorite movie?
I'm not a big movie person. I could watch the same stuff over and over again. And my favorites always change. I'll get like stuck. One that I recently like started. I didn't finish it, but I recently started rewatching was Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner. Um, it's all about baseball. And it's kind of like a magical movie. There's like magic elements going on. Um, but baseball was huge for me growing up. That movie was big in my household. The nostalgia for it is just huge. But most of the time, I just love comedy. And I'll just watch the same comedies over and over again. Old School, Pineapple Express, Death to Smoochie, more of an obscure one. It was Robin Williams and Ed Norton, and not a lot of people know about that one. Um, yeah, that's my spiel on movies, I guess. I'm never not a huge movie person.
Nice. I just watched Billy Madison with my mom and my friend. It was really good.
That was the first like I guess dirty movie I saw. I mean, it's not that vulgar, but the first like adult comedy I saw in the theaters. My mom took me. Adam Sandler's sister is actually my dentist. He's from Manchester. Yeah, he's from Manchester. His sister and his niece, her daughter, are both dentists where I go. It's funny too. They have their like their whole waiting room is just like covered in autographed movie posters from all his movies. And like with the new Happy Gilmore coming out, they had a little display on the counter at checkout of like um I don't know, it was like just to watch. It was homemade, but it was like telling everybody to go watch the movie. It's like it was the biggest release of all time on Netflix, and like you're just in your dentist's office promoting it. It's kind of funny, but it's cute. Like it's cool. She's just clearly supports her brother. Um, it's pretty funny. But they'll just randomly be like, "Oh, my uncle Adam," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's one of the most famous people in the world." It's funny.
So if you tell your 13-year-old self anything at all, what would you tell him?
My 15-year-old self,
13.
13, your age. Um, stay positive, just stay positive, man. Like just embrace positivity, embrace the good in life. Don't focus on the negative. You know, work at things. You can do whatever it is that you set your mind to. You know, hey, if you're 5'3" your whole life, you're probably not going to play in the NBA, but you might be the best rec ball player, and I think too often people, because they're not extraordinary at something, they just give up. And it's like I told you, I can't. I'm terrible. I'm a terrible musician. I can barely play bass. And I've played all over the country, so if that's that, I think that's like the lesson of hardcore too, is like, you are able to come from nothing and do whatever you want. If you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to take the steps, make the effort, you can do everything that you ever wanted. And again, there's, these 1% situation, like not everybody's going to play in the NBA. Not everybody's going to sell out Madison Square Garden. Not everybody's going to play stadiums, but like you can have some fraction of it. And it all boils down to staying positive and not doubting what you can do, not putting any limiting beliefs in your head, and just going for whatever it is that is going to make you happy.
Nice. Do you have anything else to add before we wrap it up?
Well, since I came on under the guise of being in Yellow Stitches, I will say look out for that album coming out soon. I believe it's 5 new songs. Friends, Family Forever merch, I believe, is going to have the hard copies for sale. But yeah, definitely check that out. Listen to LaChance Encounters. I'm about to do, I don't know when you're going to have this out, but in a week, there'll be a 2-part Yellow Stitches, two separate hours of Yellow Stitches talk with the 4 main guys from the band. So that'll be out soon. Check it out. And for you, keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop doing this. Don't stop playing in the bands. Just keep going. Unless you decide you hate it and then do something else, but keep putting the same effort into it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. Thanks. We'll see you in November at
Yeah,
the,
I'll see you then.
hopefully.
Yeah,
Yep. All
looking
right.
forward to it.
Thanks to Alex for joining me
Thank
today.
you.
And thanks to all you for watching or listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Spotify and other streaming platforms. Until next week, bye bye. I messed it up. Whatever.